So we can use my main chart now. We have price completely break this area right here, and on the M30, okay, okay, I guess I did not label this because it would have been a bit too crampy. But anyway, we do see that we have a valid pullback right there. Price went ahead and then tested this area, made a new low, made a higher high, made a lower low. Okay, so price is all over the place. Um, but yeah, now let's get into my trade for the day. So what I noticed is, even though price was coming, price was on an uptrend, it looked at it like it was going to break. So it eventually did break. And then on the M30, I do see that price started going up. Started having a pullback, right? So after a pullback, what would we expect? Now, here is the thing. Price is pulling back, right? Let me use this instead. So we have price do this. Now on the H4, what do we have? This is one big swoop. It may probably has like a little spikes to it, and then we have one big swoop, right? So when price start pulling back now, what do we expect, right? We expect price to take out this area, okay? Take out this area, come back down, break this area. Now this is our will be our what? Our bearish engulfing. Okay, on the higher time frame, pull back, retest like a resistance area or maybe a supply and demand area, and then that's what goes down. So this is the ideology of the market. Everything is market structure. Okay, so what do we have? We see market comes up and break this area. So now for this area, I do not consider it an M30 time frame. I just consider a lower time frame. That means probably the M5, M1 time frame. Okay, so we do see that price goes ahead and then make this high and then tries to do what? Tries to pull back on that same time frame. Now again, for us to start considering a bullish trend, we have to wait for price to go ahead and then for price to switch completely bullish, it has to break this point, come back, retest, and then now we going, right? Okay, so what do we have? That is exactly what we have. We have price go up, come down, start to try to go back down. So now when we have this second fail right here, I would usually start looking for a bearish trend right here. A bearish trade right there. Okay, because we're still in this area right here. Price came back and then tested a supply and demand zone right here. Right, so we can go ahead and consider this if price does fail. So let me show you guys really quickly. Okay, so the M1, we can see more details. We see that price try to go up, it break this point, it broke that point. We can wait for it to break this point as well. Once we see that price starts going down here, this would be our trade up. Anywhere here would be our trade up opportunity with our stop loss somewhere about 20 pips up there, and then we'll be targeting the low. And then we'll just target a low right here, and then of course if it goes down some more. But we have our nice 1 to 3. So anyway, getting to my trade for the day. Let me not keep you guys held up. Okay, what do we have? We have price go up here. Let me take out this area. Okay, I had to clean that up really quickly. But anyway, what do we have? We have price come down here, test this area, but never break. We have price go up and try to test this area. Remember, we're still in an uptrend on the lower time frame. That means the M30, the M5, M1, okay, possibly M15, but don't rely on that too much. So let's consider the M5, okay? So price is still going up. We're expecting it to come down, to break down here, or at least break this area completely for us to start looking for a buy. Okay, so what happens? Actually, price comes back and then breaks this area. So that means we're looking for, sales, not buy, sales. So that means we're looking for sales now. Okay, now what happens is, so even though price is now aligned with our M4, as you guys can see, we have that big clear bearish engulfing right here. Okay, so after a bearish engulfing, what do we expect? Of course, we are in right now on the H4, we are in a bearish market. But again, remember, daily takes precedence. The daily time frame is bullish, right? The daily time frame is bullish. Oh, I'm sorry, we are still all on an uptrend. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, guys. I keep mixing it up. I'm sorry. We're still on an uptrend, overall uptrend right here. Let me just do this. Okay. I'm sorry, guys, because I messed up my personal chart earlier on. So it's making me a little bit confused. Okay, so we are on that uptrend on the H4. But the M30 time frame is what is bearish. So it can keep going down, but remember, H4 takes precedence. H4 is bullish. So we are looking for more bullish trades, right? Even though market did have a bearish engulfing here, remember the M5 lower time frame is bullish. So lower time frame is lining up with H4, but the M30 is bearish. So when everything lines up now, what are we looking for? We're looking for that buy. Okay, and that is how I caught this trade. Very, very simple. Okay, so now after a bearish engulfing, what are we looking for? We're looking for the pullback. So price pulled back, but guess what happens? Price pulled back. We have the valid pullback right there at the 38.2%. You guys can see this. Sorry if it's a bit messy. So we have the 38.2% right there. Okay, 38.2%. Price try to pull back, because again we're not looking for a trade until it breaks this area, right? Even though we see that price rejected this area right here, it never rejected this area, so we are still waiting. What did price do next? It went ahead and then made a high. So after this high is made, you can go ahead and start looking for your buys now. Buy to basically this supply and demand zone, of course. And then while doing that, of course, you can take off some profits at this little supply and demand zones as well. Okay. Okay. So price went ahead, made that high, came down here, made this high, and then so guess what? When price went ahead and then tested this area, remember on this area right here, we have a little bearish trend going on, right? Even though this time frame is bullish, this particular area is bearish. I know it's a bit confusing, but think of it this way, that even though that the M30 is bearish, so we're looking for more bearish trades. We have the bearish engulfing here, so we are measuring the bearish engulfing for its pullback so we can take advantage of it. Now the correct fib setup would be from this area to this area, but then again, remember, this fib is null and void. We're only using this area to determine how far the retest would be, right? If it even retests at all. Because remember, I mean, not if it retests at all, because remember, after a break, we have a retest. So we're waiting for that retest. It might be a very steep pullback or retrace, or it might be a very short one. So right here, as you can tell, we have a very steep retrace. Price comes here, there's this area. We see that it never broke that area. It actually rejected this area. So if you want to be a little bit consecutive, you could of course wait for price to come back here and then take advantages of this bullish engulfing. This bullish engulfing on the lower time frame. But we're talking about this particular trade. Okay. So now remember what I was saying earlier on. This particular fib is null and void. So let's take it off. Okay. And then what happens? Price went up, it went up, tested this demand area, and then what? It failed. So as it failed, you guys can see it clearly broke this smallest area right here. So again, this is lower time frame structure. This is actually not like valid structure. The valid structure we're looking at is that M30 and then that M5, M1 structure, which is currently forming right here. So this is all part of it. Right? So remember, we are not looking for a sell until we have a break and a retest. We have that break right here, and then we're waiting for the retest. Okay? So from what I was looking at, I'm okay. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm waiting for this area to retest, and then I am going to go ahead and then sell. Right? But guess what happens? So price went up. So I had my fib set up like this. Okay, because this is not a valid pullback, right? But this is a valid pullback. I waited for price to engulf this area, come down here, but it never did. It went up, broke this particular area. So once it broke, I was like, okay, now we are game. Let's go ahead and start looking for our buys now. So I just put up my fibs this way. Okay, and then as I put up my fibs, I did realize that price went ahead and then engulfed this area. Now I was going to sleep, so I immediately entered the trade, but you can always go ahead and wait for the retest. So we have that break right here and we have that retest. So right here would be the best trade you can take, or even right here, this areas with your stop loss below here, and then you get the best risk to reward as well. Anyway, so I entered my first trade right there, and then as you can tell, price started pulling back. So I was actually on this particular time frame and the M30. Occasionally I would come to the daily to see how price is moving. So we can tell, we see right here we have this bullish engulfing, bullish momentum, right? And then more bullish momentum. So I was like, okay, it is on. So right here I drew my little trend line on the M5 as price was pulling back, and I had my fib set up from this area. Let's see if it actually came down 38.6. So yes, so I had it right there. Okay, so even though price kind of broke a bit, I was still calm about it. I was still very calm. Yeah, so what happened? Price went ahead here. Even though it broke, I should have closed my trade, but I'm like, no, I believe in the buy because everything lines up. Everything lines up together. So I'm definitely gonna take the buy. Okay. So what I did was price started pulling back. It pulled back, pulling back. I never see it break this up areas. I never see it break this up areas. But guess what it did? I mean, over here it did break this area, but it did not create another high as well. But guess what happened in this area? It broke again, came down. Once it came down, tested this area I never broke, and I saw this engulfing. You already know it was game. Put my stop loss below here because of this big ass wick, right? If you want to wait, you can of course wait and then take the trade here. And of course, the trade went up in my direction. So now my biggest mistake was I did not get to take the full profit of the trade because I forgot about my demand zone, of course. No, I did not forget about my demand zone. I was a bit, how do you put it? I was a bit greedy. I was a bit greedy with my with my stops. So the best way that I could have made more on this trade or been more accurate on it was to basically, so over on this area we do see that this is not a valid pullback, but this is a valid pullback. Okay, so since our trade is based off the M30 time frame, like our setup is based off the M30 time frame, we would target just that 38.6% on the lower time frame. Okay, so we do see that we have a 61.8%. So actually, the most wisest thing to do would have just target this area. So what I did was I split up my target. I put my first target here, and I put my second target up here. I should have actually been here, and then I worked off with half profits on each position. I'll try to put it up here and then you guys can see it, of course. So I actually entered 3 positions right down there and then another one up here when price tested this area. I thought it was gonna break, but it didn't break. So once it created this high, retested, created this bullish engulfing, I was in again. And then we did go up to profit, even though I ended up being taken out of 2 positions. But I did win 2 positions. So I will just flash that up there. So this was my trade for the day. Thank you guys for staying with me. I will just cut up the video how I view it appropriate, and I hope you guys will like it. Please, 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 please do support the channel, as you know, it would help me out. Of course, it would help me out. I want to keep making videos, and I think seeing that engagement and of course the subscribers go up will give me, excuse me, it will give me that motivation to keep going. So well, if you have any any video ideas, please feel free to put it down in the comment section below. And well, this is Cave Trading. Catch you guys on the next one.